Hi, I'm Don Mecoy. I'm a business reporter with the Oklahoman, and today we're joined by a couple of local business experts. We thought we'd have a little post-election business discussion focusing on Oklahoma. Joining us today, Eric Nelson. Eric is a financial advisor at Burns Advisory Group here in Oklahoma City, and Russell Perry. Mr. Perry here is a publisher of the Black Chronicle, also owns 18 broadcast stations in Oklahoma and elsewhere. And let me start with you, Eric. Markets today were down about 5% on the day after the election. Of course, they've been bouncing around a lot lately.
Sure.
But what impact do you expect the Obama presidency and the Democrat-controlled Congress to have on financial markets as we go forward?
Well, I think if you look today specifically in the downturn, you do have to realize that that was on the heels of 6 straight pretty substantial up days. And I think over the last 6 days leading up until today, we were up almost 20% on the market. So a pullback was probably warranted. Overall, looking at Democrat for president and in Congress, I think getting a little bit more perspective, a little bit more clarity around the future direction is going to be good for markets. I think a lot of uncertainty that we've been dealing with for the last couple months has really caused ups and downs that we've seen in markets, and we're just looking forward to a little bit more clarity going forward.
Okay. Well, now Oklahoma remains a real strong energy state, and Obama made some promises about expanding drilling opportunities. He wants to develop alternative fuels. Tell me what you think about the energy sector as an investment opportunity.
Well, I think it's important, especially for investors in Oklahoma, to not be overly concentrated in that particular sector. A lot of people's incomes are tied directly to that, whether it's directly or indirectly through passive investment. So I think overall we want to continue to be broadly diversified. So when you think about an appropriate investment plan today, a diversified strategy probably has 15 or 20% in energy markets, and that's very appropriate for Oklahoma investors today. But loading up on that, I think, is a little bit too risky. I think you will see the price of oil rebound and our industry come back a little bit, but certainly wouldn't want to bet the farm or bet almost your entire investment portfolio on that. You want to stay diversified because there might be other areas of the markets under an Obama presidency that'll respond a little bit better or come back a little bit more quicker from the downturn that we've seen.
Okay. Well, let me turn to you, Russell. You're a local businessman. You employ a lot of people, and you make payroll. And what do you see the Obama presidency meaning to you as a businessman and to other people in the business community?
I really don't know at this point. It's interesting to hear Eric speak on energy and diversification. Just back in the 80s, I'm old enough to remember the bad days in the 80s when we had Penn Square Bank and how it ricocheted and had a negative impact on all of us here in Oklahoma. And then to think about the discussions then was ag and oil, we needed to diversify more.
Right.
Then we came up with 9/11, and I saw the markets go sideways again. And now we have the oil prices and things of this nature. I feel very optimistic about being in this state of Oklahoma, where energy is. I would hate to think that energy would go away at this point in time. What did Forbes say that we are number one in being concealed and protected against the. Eric, you're laughing, but
about the recession.
About the recession. So
it's.
I think we're blessed here in Oklahoma, and I see nothing but positive things to continue. And I think that.
Well, talk a little bit about Oklahoma, because the GOP now controls both houses of the legislature here in the state. What are you expecting from that?
I expect a lot of good things. I happen to serve as Secretary of Commerce under Frank Keating, and in the year 2004, the House was taken over by the Republicans, and we couldn't wait. We were very anxious to see and count the days that this would happen, that both House and Senate would do that. And I think that should bring about the conservative approach in Oklahoma. That an interesting thing about the Obama success, and I call it a success, true success, is that Oklahoma still is a red state, very conservative state. And it should be reflected on Republicans taking both houses, and we still have our congressional delegation intact with Colbert, Inhofe, Lucas, Sullivan, Cole,
Right.
Fallon. I think Oklahoma is still intact. And saying that, it behooves us to continue to keep it intact. And I think that with having both houses Republicans, we will have a strong, hopefully, business climate, really, truly less taxes, no state income taxes or reduction in state income taxes, true continuation of the right to work amendments here, and bringing about corporate business like we did the Sonics in Oklahoma. And I think as I go back with my memory, that's one of the things that we're truly lacking. Thank God for Devon and Chesapeake and those other things. What an impact, positive impact they've made on this state and city.
Well, tell me one other thing. I mean, you're a publisher of the Black Chronicle, which is for and about the African American community. What sort of response have you heard from that community since the election results came out last night?
This is a historical event for all African Americans, and specifically Oklahomans, Black Oklahomans. We are, I'd say in Oklahoma, it's a reflection of the percentage of Democrats, African American in Oklahoma. It runs about 92%. Same thing nationally, and I think that we're all elated and extremely proud of this country. The interesting thing to me, and I was sharing it with my staff today, is that the next generation has made a difference. The next educated, sophisticated, diverse generation has made a difference, in my opinion, that brought about the change in this great country of ours. And saying that as a conservative Republican, it's had a very positive impact, and I'm proud to say that.
That's great. Well, listen, gentlemen, thank you for joining me today, and thanks for sharing your expertise and your thoughts on this. If you want to see more, obviously we'll have a lot more here on News OK. We have a lot of election coverage, and there'll be more in the Oklahoma. Thank you.